Hello and welcome, each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCTcentre, and joining me again is Morganne Rayne, adept, visionary, spiritual guide, ceremonialist, and artist. And she is back with us to share her wisdom again with us. And I'm extremely grateful, Morgan, for coming again to our show.
I am so
How
happy
you
to
been?
be here.
How you been?
I've been in humanness and having the experience of that, and moving my way back into remembering my truth. So we all get into that humanness place, right? Because we are human, and it's what we align with. We can be human, but we can also have our spiritual self intact. So sometimes that's a little bit of a struggle, but when humanness hits us in the face, we just need to be there. And so I kind of was just in that human element of health and home and getting myself back on track. And I love how you pointed out you've been working so hard. Probably you just needed a break. And I think you were right. So, but here I am. I'm healthy. I'm whole. I'm happy, and I'm really ready to be here. So I thank everyone
I'm
for.
very
Yeah, I
I'm
think.
very grateful you with us.
Thank you.
And
Um,
before apologize. Before we start, I just want to remind our viewers to be both taking in private clients, and Morgan will tell about her work and remind you about her work. And I'm taking in private clients for coaching and therapy sessions, and I'm using EFT, Reiki, access bars, life coaching, hypnotherapy, and counseling psychotherapy. So if you need us, our contact details will be below the video. And maybe start, Morgan, reminding people what you do. So actually, what kind of private sessions you doing?
yeah, that's great. I'm a spiritual adept. I came on the planet fully awake, and I've been awake all my life. Really doing the work of source. Even as a little kid, I was a healer. Been a healer, still a healer. Um, so there's that. I do it under umbrellas of different modalities, like you do as well. One of the pieces of work that I've been doing a lot of is trauma related work, and working with releasing trauma from the body temple and from the thinking. So from the physical, emotional, mental realm, we work with clearing that trauma so that the trauma is not dictating to a person their choices or their health or any of that. So, and there's a great deal of trauma work to be done right now as we see what's happened geopolitically and all of that going on. And I know a lot of my clients come to me, and basically most of them are in trauma. And it's so interesting. I worked with a lady yesterday that wanted to be in her sovereignness, right? She wanted to claim her sovereign expression, but she had but every time she like did that, she would like get the sick feeling through her body, right? And I go, well, that's great. Let's go to the sick feeling. She goes, no, I don't want to go there. I go, but that's where that's where the nugget is. And we did, and we found a piece from when she was 5 years old. 5 years old, right? So there was a trauma there that had encoded in her body temple, so that it was, and it was overriding any of her desires to be sovereign. It kept not, so we worked on that trauma piece. And when we were done, she goes, that's not there anymore. She goes, I didn't even know it was there, but she could identify the feeling. that was attached to it. And that feeling followed her wherever she went when she was attempting to make more higher choices for herself. So you just don't know how trauma affects you until you start investigating it. So I'd say I'm really curious, and I listen. In the listening, I listen beyond the listening. So I listen for the little child or the inner child, or I listen for threads that may be in the conversation that I can pick up on. So I have a gift for that. So, but I have many gifts, and I think we all have many gifts. But right now I work mostly with trauma people and people who really want to really lead a more spiritual based life. So that's the work I do.
Yeah.
Today,
I just wanted to ask what messages you brought for us today, what we will be talking today.
So I am. It is a common thing we all say, I am. Two of the most powerful words you can ever utter. Because when you say I am, you're really declaring what you believe about yourself. The I am. So we can go back scripturally and go back to, Moses, right? When he was talking to the burning bush and he's asking God, who are you? I am that I am. I am. So in that I amness, when we are saying I am, we are aligning with something. We are aligning to the frequency of something. So we can look at things, and I want to look at it in terms of like our chakra system in the I am. Okay. So in our basic, so we have way more than 7 chakras, but I'm just going to work with 7 basic chakras today. So the first chakra, which is your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, right? That's called also your survival chakra. So if you've got your attention on survival, your I ams, the higher aspect of I am would be I am safe. Right. So if you're in the lower frequency of the base root chakra, you might say, I'm scared. I'm afraid. I don't know what's happening. You start weaving a story of that lower density, which is out of sync with really who we are. And we align with that. And then sure enough, we are afraid. We are scared. We are in that survival mode. But that root chakra really is about, I am safe. I'm here. I'm in my body. I'm connected to the earth. I'm in connection of. When we go to those lower densities, we've lost our connection. We're now being buffeted around by I love they call some of the things that come at us fear porn, and that's what it feels like, right? It's just like something that's being thrown at us. But when we come into alignment, especially with that root chakra, and we start affirming I am safe, and you get into the feeling of I am safe. Everybody knows what it feels like to be afraid. Have you ever been afraid, Daiga? Do you know what that feels like?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so if you conjure up that feeling of I'm afraid, how does your body feel?
It's all in stress, all in fly or die like situation.
That's right. It is. And so when you stay there for any length of time, you become like this vibratory transmitter of I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, right? So, and I think we've all met people like that. And we may have even been in that place ourselves. I've been there before where something happened and I got into that fear frequency, and I just vibrated there. It was hard to get out. It takes work to get out of that. And it also takes, I don't want to be here anymore. What do I need to elevate this? What do I need to do for myself to bring myself out of it? So in our world today, what I see, I mean, I know people who are Republican, Democrat, I know all kinds of different peoples. I know born again Christians. I know Buddhists. I know all different kinds of people, and there's stories within those elements of fear. And so I try to keep neutral in all of that and just kind of let all that stuff happen around me. But I notice the tendency is to go into, I'm afraid, I don't know what our world is doing. So right there, you're weaving a story about your world. your world is going to become that reality of fear. So that's that root chakra. So when you are in your fear and you hear yourself think, or your body tempo feel, I'm afraid, begin to be curious about that. I'm afraid. Be curious. What are you afraid of? Why am I afraid? Begin to question it. Because if you just go, I'm afraid, then you start aligning with it. But when you start getting curious about it, well, where's this fear coming from? Did I create this fear? Did someone else create this fear for me? When you become curious about it, it starts to not have a hold on you, because the curiosity is challenging the narrative that you're giving to your body temple. I'm afraid. So that's that first root chakra with the I am. We're going to begin to look at, I am safe. I am secure in my world. So you begin the affirmatives of what you really want to experience. So I'm afraid is something most people don't want to experience, but most people do. So how do we change that? We begin to be curious about why we believe that. And then at that point, when you're curious, you have the power to choose again. And that's the magic point, right? When you have the ability and capacity to choose something different, like I am safe. Now, when I say I am safe and you inform your body temple, I am safe, how does your body temple feel?
Straight away, when you're telling this, I am safe, you straight away feel safer, calmer, safer.
Yeah, you become softer. You don't, so in that I'm afraid, you're in a defensive posture, right? Like everything's coming at you. So where's it coming from? When you're safe, you settle into it, you allow. And I know I've used that word with you, but I allow, right? And it makes you an open vessel for allowing safety to be a part of your narrative now. So that's that root chakra. Now we're going to move up the chakra system into your pelvic area, into that second chakra, which is all about creativity. So when people affirm, I'm not very creative, they've just shut off their second chakra, right? Well, the truth is, we are creators. We are creators. Now we create whatever. So we'll go back to that root chakra. If you say, I'm afraid, well, you're creating a fear. You're creating that. So moving up to that second chakra, I am creative, you're aligning with the creator aspect within you. So what do you want to create? Right? So begin to be curious about what wants to create through me. What do I want to create? Begin to have a conversation. So maybe you want to create a beautiful garden. Or maybe you want to create a piece of art. Maybe you want to create a beautiful relationship. What is the creation aspect? So then we begin to align with I am creative. I am creator. I create. So you begin to affirm in that second chakra the creative aspect. And you don't want to bypass the first chakra of I am safe, because if you don't feel that safety, you don't have the capacity to create. So all of your chakras need to be in alignment and turned on and activated. And I'll teach you all a beautiful way to do this at the end of this. Okay, so second chakra is I am creative. Third chakra is right here, the solar plexus. I am strong. I am strong. So go into that place. That's the seat of your will. The seat of your will is your choice making center. You choose from your will, from the creative will. So those things, those chakras are next to each other for a good reason. That creative will is I choose, I am strong, and come from that place of that strength, from that third chakra right there, which is your solar plexus. And then we move up the chakra system to your heart chakra, which is I am love. I am love. And just settle into that. What does that feel like when you just affirm to your body, I am love? And how about I am loved? I am loved. What does that feel like when you just begin to think those things and relax into that softness of I am loved? And it comes from that place of I am safe, right? So if you're not safe, you can't feel I am loved. So it's so important to make sure all of those chakras are lined up. So I am loved, heart chakra. Throat chakra. So powerful here. I am expressive. I express in my world. I speak my word into my world. So I think we've all heard, I speak my word. I speak into the frequency of my world, which generates that frequency to connect with what I'm speaking of. So when we're speaking, I am loved, I am safe, I am creative. When we speak it, we create the vibratory response that resonates out and touches all the aspects of things that are creative, love, safety. We begin to speak it into our world. Very powerful when we use our throat chakra to create what we truly want. And I hear people now creating from their throat chakra things I don't think they really do want. But that's where you get curious again. You know, where am I speaking this from? What's speaking this? What fear am I attached to? So when we work with that throat chakra, we want to do clearing, and clearing those, the best way is to begin to be really conscious about what you're speaking into your reality. The next one is your third eye chakra. Your third eye chakra is all about being connected. So what are you connected to? And this is where curiosity, what are you connected to? Are you connected to the world, or are you connected to source? So when you are conscious about your third eye, you become connected to source. Now, third eye, vision, seeing, looking, the ability to see beyond what you see is all connected to the third eye. So we usually use our visual sense to see into our world. I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Have you ever heard that? I'll believe it when I see it, right? No, because what you see in your world has already been created. There's nothing new in that. That is already done, past. That's the history, right? To truly see is your power to visualize, your imagination, your ability to see beyond the circumstances. So if let's go back to the root chakra, if you are afraid, right, what you begin to see with your eyes are situations that will make you feel afraid. But if you move into the higher realm of I am safe, and you start to visualize from the position of the third eye, of visualizing safety in your world, peace in your world, love in your world, when you begin to visualize that, then we create a life that's filled with that beautiful experience of safety and love and connection and creativity. In the scriptures, there's a passage in there. I'm not going to quote it perfectly because I don't remember it perfectly, but what it says is, without a vision, the people perish. Without a vision, the people perish. So if we don't have a vision for our life, then who we are will cease to exist. So it's so important to have a vision for who we are, and to be careful what vision we attach to of others. What's your vision? What do you see for your world? And that's what I love about our humanitarian work. The humanitarian work we go, it is all about visioning and visualizing a greater expression of being and love and safety and caring and goodness and good food and health and all that. We visualize, we hold that place so that things can be created around it, like healing centers and farms and beautiful expressions of that places that people can go to be connected to who they really are. So that visioning process, all humanitarians carry that. We have a big third eye because we see the issues in the world and we go into the solutions for that. Okay, so now the crown chakra, where we affirm I am divine. I am divine. Wow. A lot of, if you talk to some of my clients, they love it, because when they're off kilter, I'll just say, straighten up your crown. And they know exactly what I mean. Whoosh, right? Because sometimes our crown collapses and we don't feel connected to source. We feel connected to our world, but we don't feel connected to our source. So straighten up the crown, connect to source. All right, so we've run through the 7 chakras. So from the root, I'm going to just do it in the high affirmative. I am safe. I am creative. I am strong. I am loved. I am expressive. I am connected, and I am divine. So when you have all of those chakras going in the I am, in the higher frequencies, just practice it for one day. Just be curious, what would happen if I aligned all my chakras with these powerful affirmatives of I am? And if you find yourself stating I am, I don't know, give me a negative I am, Daiga. Just give me a negative I am.
I am sad.
I am sad. Okay, where does that hit you when you say that?
I straight away feel sad, even if I'm not.
But that hits you in the heart chakra, right?
Yes.
I'm sad, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you would, if someone would say that, and we all go through that, where I'm sad, I'm feeling sadness right now. Go to it. What is this sadness about? Where is this coming from? Become curious about it rather than pushing it down. We don't want to give it life, the sadness life, but we want to find out where it's coming from so we can help that aspect of ourselves to remember joy, to remember happiness. And that's all in the heart, but it actually employs all of the chakras. when you say, I am sad, you get disconnected from your source, you get disconnected from your visioning, you get disconnected from a higher level of speaking your word into the world. You don't feel strong, you don't feel creative, and you don't feel balanced or present on the earth. So just one little affirmation can throw the whole chakra system into a turmoil. So it's so important. And this is something I love doing every morning is this is the trick I use, right? Because sometimes we get busy. All you have to do, and I think probably I can do this more easily than most because I've been doing this for a while. I'll just say, chakra system, activate. Chakra system, activate. And it's with what the intention of love. And so I've already got how I want it to be, right? You can even say,
So sorry, I jump in because when I'm doing Reiki, I'm doing this Reiki activate. Yeah.
exactly.
Right away, as soon as I'm saying Reiki activate, I straight away feel in my hands this energy coming.
Exactly. You turned it on. You turned it on. Yes, you turned it on. And when you speak it, it immediately aligns with what it is you want on. You want Reiki on now.
Yeah. And it is, and straight away you feel your hands is straight away full of energy. And as you say, Reiki off, yeah, that's it. This energy disappears, calms down.
Exactly. And that's the power of who we are, that we have the capacity through our words and through our intention to turn it on and turn it off. But most of us don't do that consciously, Daiga. Most people walk through the world unconscious about what they're thinking and about what they're feeling. So to bring awareness and consciousness to our words, to what we think about, what we listen to, what we align with, who we align with, all of that, bring awareness to that. And then it's, well, how do I want to be in the world, right? What's the I am I want to express? I am joyful. Well, if you want to be joyful, what must you think about? How must you be feeling? You can't be joyful if you're a curmudgeon in the world or a grumpy pants.
Probably not.
Probably not. You choose joy, and you choose words that are filled with joy, and you choose actions that are filled with joy, and you become a resonance of joy. And I like thinking about us as vibrational transmitters, right? So if someone is a grumpy pants, I like that word. So if someone's in a grumpy pants, man, you can feel it. You could, like you could go there with them, right? Almost. You entrain with that. And I think they call that commiseration, when you align with someone who's grumpy or sad or weak or sick. You begin to align with them. But that entrainment with those lower frequencies is really not where we want to be. So we get to consciously choose. So it's all about bringing it to consciousness. So back to I am. When you say I am, remember that you are aligning with those words. So begin to look at what you're saying I am, what you're aligning with I am. And if you don't want to be there, examine, get curious about where's that coming from? Why do I say that? Is that someone else's words? Oh, there's, I will tell a story here. A long time ago, it's probably about I don't know, almost 30 years ago, I did a challenge course. Do you know what a challenge course is?
No.
It's okay. So this is where you challenge everything about everything in your life. So the challenge course will be a fire walk. It will be rebar bending. It will be brick breaking. It will be climbing up telephone poles. It'll be leaping off of things. I mean, this thing is set up to experience every fear that we can experience. So
It's quite sounds like I'm celebrity, get me out of here.
it could be. So
It's sounds this program you never see on the television. I
I
think
don't want. I
I
don't watch.
think it's English. They take celebrities. I only watch some glimpse of it. I'm not really into it, but they taking celebrities somewhere in the jungle, and they have to experience whatever ants dropping on them, keep, take something out of pail of snakes, and so on and so on. Awful things what they have to do to get where they need to be and what they need for food or something.
Yeah. So that's putting people in a survival situation.
Mhm.
And challenge courses are like that too. So I did pretty good through the fire walking. I mean, that takes a whole set of, when you're standing in front of a long bed of hot coals and your goal is to get on the other side of that, you don't think about the hot coals. What you think about is rejoicing on the other side of it. It's the rejoicing on the other side of it that takes you through the hot coals. But the story I want to tell you is one of the challenges was to climb up this telephone pole. Okay. So they had little iron things that you could step on to get to the very top. And then you were to get yourself on the top of the telephone pole and stand there. The issue with it is they had this revolving plate so that when you would try to get up, it moved. So it wasn't even stationary. So when I did great getting all the way up to the top. But when I got to the top of it and I started to get my foot up to hoist myself up to the top, the telephone pole started doing this. It started swaying. And the fear in me was, it was so powerful. And all I could do was be in this sway, in this fear. And what I heard in my head was my mother's voice. And I heard her say, "Get off of that tree. You're going to kill yourself." I mean, it was so loud in my head, but I wasn't conscious of it until I was up at that top. And then some brilliant soul that was on the ground watching what was happening yelled out, "Morganne, it's not the pole, it's you. It's not the pole. It was me. It was my fear of what my mother was saying. Get out." I love to climb trees. I was a tree climber, and I love to climb to the top of the trees. And if she would see me, she would freak out. Now, I'd climb to the top of those trees lots of times when she's not watching. I never fell. But when she watched, she planted that seed of fear in me. And here I was. And so as soon as I got to, oh, this is not even my fear. This was my mother's fear. Be curious. Where's that fear coming from? What was my truth? And immediately when I identified it, the pole went whoop, straight and still, because I was straight and still. and I managed to get myself up, stand on that revolving plate, and then you're tethered. So, you can't, if you fell, you were still on a rope, right? So the deal is you get up and you turn 180 degrees and then you leap off. You leap off into the air, right? So that piece challenges you. When I got up to that top and realized that wasn't even my fear, it was my mother's fear, I was at choice then. I could choose to stay in the fear and let that pole whip me around and be a total failure and have to climb down the pole because I can't get up, or I could change my whole mind about it and be strong and know I'm standing on the top of this, right? So that's what's important about being curious about where these things come from. Okay, so that's all I got to teach today. Yes.
From all these teachings today, I understand we need go in, get curious, we need ask questions to get the root to the where it's coming from.
Exactly. Don't be afraid of that. So what people do, what I've noticed that people do, I've been a coach and a counselor and a therapist for how old I'm for more than 40 years now. It's been a long time. Way more though, but 45 years. People, when they're confronted with something like a fear, what they tend to do is just push it down, don't want to look at it, pretend like it's not there, but it's still there. It's very alive in you until you take it out and look at it and go, darn, that wasn't even my fear. That belonged to my mother. That was her fear. I don't need to align with that fear. That's where you're in your place of power. That's where you're in place of choosing. And then you can have a better alignment of I am. And for me, standing on that pole represented my courage and my bravery and my capacity for strength. It actually employed every chakra system. I am safe. I am creative. I knew how to get beyond the narrative that I'm scared. I am strong. I can heave myself up. That's not an easy thing to do when you're at the top of a pole, to get your legs up there and lift yourself up. It employs the heart. I'm brave. I'm brave. I have courage. That's where courage lives. I could speak the truth about myself, and I could see myself on top of that pole, and I could see myself turning, and I could see myself leaping. But in the narrative of my mother, get out of that tree, you're going to kill yourself, I had none of that. So that's where curiosity is so important. Yeah. Now, the spiritual practice for everybody is not only to be curious during this week, which I totally encourage everyone to just go out and practice being curious. Be curious about, why did you eat that apple? Why did you eat that whatever it is, that piece of candy? Why did you? Just be curious about it. Not judgmental, not don't put yourself down, just be curious. So I challenge everyone to be curious. In aligning your chakras every day, work with alignment of your chakras. Go through each chakra as I went through them. Very simple, just the 7 of them. And then get into the practice of aligning your I am statements with your chakras. I am safe. I am creative. I am strong. I I am happy. I am loved. I am expressive. I can see. I create. I am aligned. So when you go through that, then you can go chakra system activate and get used to using those shortcuts to the chakra system activate. And you can do it with each one. Heart chakra, activate. Third eye, activate. So you are giving the command to your beingness to activate.
That's brilliant. I think today's message is absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much.
I said, thank you, Source.
Yeah, thank you, Source. Thank you for all messages you're bringing for us. And we will see each other again next week, same time, same place. So please keep up your homework. And if somebody wants, please, next week, send me emails how you getting on, and then I pass to Morganne, or you can come on our show and you can put in comments how you get on with your work and how you feel after it. So yeah, thank you very much. Is there anything else, Morganne, you want to tell our viewers?
I think that's plenty for us. Go be curious. Be so curious.
Yeah, so be curious. And if you like our show and if you like all rest of my shows, please don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And from our hearts to yours, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining us, and God bless.